your car engine. All right, so David, we are bouncing out.
Yeah.
What's up later on the show?
You mean what's coming up?
Yes, what's coming up. Yeah.
Okay, so Delali, we live in a region where all of us expect to have development.
Yeah.
And for years, we've called for the abandoned hospitals to be made operational. So we're talking about Sewa, which of course is a 250-bed capacity facility. Aferi is 500-bed capacity. We have not heeded the call. Government has not heeded the call.
Yeah.
And government came out to commit to us and told us that, well, they are going to put up some district hospitals under the Agenda 111.
Okay.
And so the presidential advisor, on health, has spoken and says, well, they are on course and they're going to make sure that the Agenda 111 is complete.
Okay.
It's a good thing. But what about Aferi? What about Sewa, which is supposed to be the regional hospital?
What about Kumewu?
So I ask myself, when the Constitution talks, the direct principles of state policy, when the Constitution talks about the fact that when governments come, they should continue projects begun by previous governments. And Mills did it so well. The George Walker Bush Highway.
Yeah.
Kufuor started it. Mills completed it. During the commissioning, Mills invited Kufuor to be there. Even the Bui Dam, same thing happened. So why can't we complete this?
But Kufuor did not invite Mahama for the launch for the soccer team for KJTR project. He didn't. Or he did.
You and I know what the answer.
I know, but if you give an example of Kufuor, then you say that then coming down, unfortunately, this man did not act. Then we know that that's where we are going. But you see, David, fact is that
when you speak, people are saying, "Oh, we're not angry enough."
No,
we're not angry enough to do what they're telling.
This is not a matter of being angry. I just want to be very careful in the sort of words I use. But you see, my choice of words, because David, for me, it beats my imagination that for 6.5 years now, since the Nana Addo-led government took over, 6.5 years now, they've not been able to even complete one. Then you decide that you're going to do 111 district hospitals. So what happens to the big ones? Go to Konfanochi, go to other hospitals right now, government hospitals, and people are lying down on the floor because there are lack of beds. There are no space. But meanwhile, we have these ones lying down which are uncompleted. I'm sorry that you are wasting your breath on this because it won't change anything, because we started talking about this from the inception or from the start of the administration of this government. They've not done anything and they're not going to do it. So we've seen Kokwajima Menu go round several times at Aferi, at Kumewu, at Hwehwe.
Even the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, on the minority side, the Parliamentary Select Committee, they took a trip to some of these places. The sad thing is that, the structure is wasting away. Nana Ojima took a trip to Sewa. He would tell us what he saw. And I was saying that we are taxpayers, okay?
They won't listen to us, David.
And so you're wasting my money.
They've decided not to listen to us. So if it was left with me alone, I would say that let's do other things, because they won't mind us. We've been saying it for 6.5 years now, Zando.
FPAC is effective for headache and relieves the symptoms of flu, cold, and catarrh. FPAC blows away the pain associated with sore throats. During and after a hard day's work, FPAC relieves you of body pain. After the day's sport workout, FPAC helps the body to control the aching muscles. FPAC is effective against feverishness and rheumatic pains. FPAC reduces body temperature associated with malaria and other fevers. FPAC is not recommended for children less than 16 years of age, ulcer, and asthmatic patients, pregnant and lactating mothers. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC blows your pain away.
FPAC Junior is a trusted friend to relieve your child of pain associated with teething, catarrh, cold, and fever. The good that FPAC does for you, FPAC Junior does for your child. FPAC Junior is for children between 6 months and 12 years. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC Junior blows your child's pain away. This advertisement is FDA approved.
1xBet Jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
See you later, dear. Elam is here.
Sure you don't want some of this?
Are you trying to make me late again?
Oh, come on. Have a little taste.
Okay, just a bite. This is amazing.
Right?
Kobe, now you will make late way day here. Charlie, wait, is that a new Indomie beef at the smell?
Would you like?
Oh, yes, please. Charlie,
your favorite great tasting Indomie is now available in the new delicious beef flavor. So, whatever the moment, beef it up with the new Indomie beef. Indomie tastes great. This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, that be the sound you hear when things make hot. I'm sure this is not battery, just cash flow. Laja no day. It is safe to say we are all facing challenging times. We are all wondering how we are going to lighten our financial burdens. Nowhere cool, but don't worry. With a little help from your trusted bank, Societe Generale Ghana, be biara fine. Societe Generale Ghana is making all its customers happy with a Yatiso loans promo. In fact, SG Ghana customers and even non-customers who are on the controller and accountant general payroll can enjoy access to our amazing discounted loans. Don't waste time. Get your loan today. Step into a branch or call 0302-214-314 to get the ball rolling. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promotion ends on 7th August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
You worry. Just be happy. Don't you worry.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Pied Piper of R&B, y'all. Whoa, follow me, Chicago and them. Oh yeah, Don Juan and them. Yeah. This is for y'all. The remix. Said I know that it's somebody's birthday tonight somewhere, and I know somebody's gonna celebrate tonight somewhere. I know one thing's for sure. I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes, and I'ma hit the door and go out and step the whole night through. Step in the name of love. I'm gonna step in the name of love. Then I'm gonna clap in the name of love. Oh yeah, clap in the name of love. I'm gonna step in the name of love. Ooh. Step in the name of love. In the name of move love. In the name of love. Move in the name of love. See, I know there's somebody breaking out the champagne somewhere, and you can be sure that somebody's gonna make love night until the day. Oh, one thing's for sure. I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes, then I'ma hit the door and go out and step the whole night through. Step in the name of love. Yeah. Step in the name of love. Whoa. Clap in the name of love. Yeah. Clap in the name of love. Said I'm gonna step in the name of love. Ooh. Step in the name of love. In the name move in the name of love. Move in the name of love. Oh, I wait till somebody else gets up. And I wanna be the first one to hit the floor. So tell the DJ to turn it up. Turn it up. Cause it feels so good. Dancing to this remix makes me wanna step. Cause it's a cut. Step in the name of love. Oh, baby. Step in the name of love. Don't clap in the name of love. Yeah. Clap in the name of love. Step in the name. Step in the name of
Step in the Name of Love is a beautiful song there from R. Kelly. It brings the time to some 20 minutes to hit 8 o'clock this beautiful Wednesday morning from the studios of Love 99.5. So, government says, well, they are committed to complete all Agenda 111 projects, which of course is part of government's intention to improve access to healthcare facilities, especially in remote areas. And that's what they call the Agenda 111, so that districts would also get, hospitals. Now, this is according to Dr. Anthony Nsiah. He says that it's going to create jobs not just for doctors and nurses or health professionals in general, but it's also going to create a job for many, many people. Now, we'll be bringing to you the soundbite from Dr. Anthony Insiansari in a bit, and you get to hear him when he was at Trede and touched on this. But trust me, we, in the studios of Love 99.5, we're not bothered about that. We're not against the construction of new hospitals. We're not against the construction of new hospitals. All we're asking is that, listen, although we need new hospitals, what is indeed preventing us, from completing existing ones, like the $318 million Sewa facility, that is a 250-bed capacity, and the 500-bed capacity at Aferi, that is a military hospital. What's preventing us from doing this? And we want to know from you, and don't get it wrong, we're not saying that we should not construct new facilities or health facilities, no. But once we find money and construct new facilities, we should be able to find money and make operational, the ones that have not been completed yet. Like I keep mentioning, like that of Aferi and that of Sewa. So you can join us with your thoughts as to what you make of this. It's our WhatsApp number is 055 1111995. That's our WhatsApp number, 055 1111995. Now, as we speak, we are live on Facebook on LUV 99.5. We'll be showing you pictures from Afari, that beautiful health facility there, and we'll also be showing you the state it is in right now. Now, I'd like to go onto the phone lines now and engage with Nanaya Ojima. Nanaya Ojima is with our news desk, or he's with the newsroom, and he took a trip to Sewa not long ago, and he'll be sharing with us what he found when he got there. And but before we even engage with Nanaya Ojima, Eugene Osei-Tutu is also with me. And Eugene, so this Sewa Hospital is a Eurojet facility.
Yes, David. Even before I come to Sewa, you know the agenda one, how it came about. So during COVID-19, the president in one of his address,
it was his 8th address to the nation of COVID-19. It was in April.
Yes, stated that there were 88. You see, Ghana has, I think, 216 districts, and there are 88 of them without a district hospital.
Yeah.
So the other ones were added, the regional hospital for the newly created regions, a psychiatric hospital. And sometimes when we are doing the analysis, we tend to say 16 hospitals. It's not 16, it's actually 17. Now, these were the districts that were supposed to get the hospitals in Ashanti region, and the symbolism or the sword that was cut for the entire process of Agenda 11 to begin was done in Trede. That sword cut exercise was done on the 17th of August 2021. Per the deadlines given, it was 18 months. It meant that on the 17th of February 2020, that was about 4 months ago, the project should have been completed. As we speak, I think Nanaya will give us those numbers. They say it's around 61-62% complete.
Which one is that? Which one are you talking about? The Trede one. Okay, yes. Fine.
So per the deadline the president gave us, it was supposed to be it's supposed to have been completed on the 17th of February 2020. That's not done. As we speak, that is about 4 months later. They are telling us it's 62%. Now, David, these were the 16 hospitals and the psychiatric hospital. We normally forget that, but there was a psychiatric promise when you look at the document. So the 16 districts are Trede, Kokobing, Boaman, Insuta Sechere, Manso Edubia, Mankranso, Kwabenakwa, Barekese, Kodie, Esiwa, Akrofrum, Edujama, Adansia Sokwa, Asokore Mampong, Bantima, and Ejinahini.
Yeah.
And the psychiatric hospital was supposed to be built at Onye in the Jesso municipality. So, David, these are the breakdown.
And let's talk about this Eurojet project. And of course, like I said, we've sunk in so much money. We know that the hospital itself, the facilities itself has been completed. The challenge as to why it's not operational has to do with poor access of roads and, of course, power to the facility. Let me now invite Nanaya Ojima to join us. And Nanaya, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, David.
I trust you're well.
Very well.
All right. So, Nanaya, before you even tell us what you found when you went to, Sewa, I'd like for our listeners to listen to what the presidential advisor on health said at Trede.
This is a huge employment opportunity. There are about 101 district hospitals, 7 regional hospitals. We employ, even a typical district hospital like this, the total number of people that we employ here will be more than 100. So if you multiply 100 by this, so they will be reassured. We are even giving employment. This year we have given a financial clearance for people to be employed, and they are going to be employed. So every one of them will get employed. But it's interesting to me is that apart from the employment, or the health workers and everything, the other employment which people will even can be selling here, and also where we are standing is what you call the commerce area. So food will be served here for people who are coming here. So somebody can come here, get a place, and then put something here and then sell it from the country here. And then people from other part of the country will be working here. So this is how it is. So you should be assured that once hospitals increase, by all means, you are going to get employment for first health workers, and then non-health workers, and also other people who will get work to do from one day or the other. And we don't shy away from terminating the contract. That's why we have terminated some contracts.
Right, so that was Dr. Anthony Siansari there. And so Nana, like I was saying a while ago, you took a trip to Sewa Hospital. What can you tell us about the facility as we speak? What shape is it in?
So, David, the Sewa Hospital itself, it's complete. The various technical works have been done. The buildings itself individually are completed. And the information that I have is that all installations or equipment have been installed at the Sewa Government Hospital. Everything is complete and it's ready for use. But the only challenge is that there is difficulty in accessing the road. According to the Minister for Health, the last time he visited the installation or the construction, he said that there are some client obligations that the government will have to fulfill. And it includes, one, providing access, good roads to the hospital to ensure that it's easily accessible by people or who visit this area or the hospital for medical treatment. And secondly, there is difficulty with power. So there is need for some power facilities to be constructed there. I remember somewhere last year, I visited this same, or 2 years ago rather, I visited this same facility with the president. And these two issues came up. At that time, the contractors were in advanced stage of completing this structure. So these issues came up. The president, at that instance, referred this matter to the Ministry of Energy to ensure that the source of power is well catered for, and also told other authorities that they should ensure that the road to this area has been fixed. So when the Minister for Health also visited the area early this year, same concerns were raised, and he also assured that these challenges will be faced. So after government came to inspect the Agenda 111 project at Trede, we also decided to take a look at these other facilities to find the conditions in which they are and whether these roads are being fixed. These are the challenges that is restraining government from opening up the hospital for operation, whether they are fixed. When we went there are two routes to the hospital. One, the Fiasi route, and secondly, there's also one route from Prabong through to the Sewa town itself, and you proceed to the hospital. So we went in by the Prabong area. So when you go through the Prabong area through to Sewa, you realize that most of the drains have been fixed. And from the information that I've been gathering, they were fixed years back. It's been more than 5 years when the drains were fixed in anticipation for tarring of the road. But unfortunately, though the drains and bridges are all constructed, we are yet to see any, the road being tarred or asphalted for easy access to the hospital. When you get to the Sewa Township itself, you realize that there were some already existing asphalt which was taken away or graded or milled for the proper construction itself. But unfortunately, after the road was milled, the contractor just packed out of the site. The information that I've been gathering with the people around is that whenever it rains, it's very difficult to maneuver your way, or it takes drivers with a lot of expertise to be able to, meander their way through the potholes that have been developed in this area. So it's very difficult to access the road using the Prabong route. It's very difficult to access the hospital using the Prabong route. When you get closer to the hospital, it's a developing site, a new site. So the roads there are very poor. Very, very poor. It's the one that is even within the Prabon area, because normally the contractor comes and grade the road. It's to some extent it's better than the road that leaves the hospital. It's of about 300 or 500 kilometers from the 500 meters from the road. It's very, very, very bad. Even with a pickup truck in which we went, it was very difficult for us to go through the gullies and the erosion that have been developed on the road to get access to the hospital. So from there, we decided to use the other route out of the hospital. That's the Feyase route, through connecting to Wisconsin. Then you get into the Feyase main road. Then you join back to Kumasi, and that route is very, very, very poor as well. It's not different from what we saw at the other end of the road. That's the Prabon area. This one is very muddy, and some areas were very mushy. And at a point, the driver had to engage the four-wheel drive gear to maneuver his way through the muddy and mushy areas at the Feyase route of the road. I had a conversation with some people who operate a local taxi station in the area, and they tell me that months back the contractor had come back, and he also made some drains in anticipation of asphalt overlay. At the time that the contractor came, the Wisconsin University, which is located in the area, had had developed the road to a point. They had asphalted the road, but because of standard practice, they had to take away the asphalt and allow the contractor who has been given this work to go ahead and do his work. But unfortunately, after this asphalt that was done by the school was taken off, the contractor also abandoned the job. So now there's no sight of work done, with no sight of work being done in the area. There are no contractors there. About 4 months ago, the contractor abandoned site. So to the people, it doesn't look like government sees the opening of or the operationalization of this hospital as a priority. It's no priority to the government, even though lots of money have been sunk into the hospital, constructed the various buildings, and also put in equipment. It looks like there's no urgency in government to ensure that this particular project is operationalized. Mind you, when it's completed and in operation, it will be the third largest facility in the Ashanti region. It's supposed to be the biggest after the Aferi military hospital, which is also not in operation yet. So that's why there's a lot of pressure on the Komfo Teaching Hospital. A lot of people were looking up to the operationalization of the Sewa Regional Hospital, but unfortunately, due to poor roads and also difficulty with power supply, the hospital is yet to be operationalized.
Well, I'm happy that, Nanaya, you remember vividly that you've been there a couple of times, because I remember somewhere in 2021, you were...
Can you please repeat your question?
I'm saying that I'm happy that you recall that this is not the first time you've taken a trip to the Sewa hospital, because somewhere in 2021, you were in the company of the regional minister and you took a tour at the facility. Again, you worked with the minority MPs on the Parliamentary and Select Committee on Health. You also went there. Now, looking at the facility itself, would you say that it is at the mercy of the weather and it is deteriorating? Did you see the hospital? What state or shape is it in?
So, David, unfortunately, I couldn't go into the hospital. But from the outside, I could see that, for instance, the doctor's flat, which had been constructed, I could see the paint are peeling off. Even before it's used, some of the paint is gradually wearing off. So it looks like it's at the mercy of the weather, and there haven't been any proper maintenance going on in there, especially on the buildings, because it's been done, but it's not been handed over to the government because of these challenges. It's not been in operation yet. So it doesn't look like there is any care for the buildings there. But I saw some of the some skeleton staff of the contractor, around the hospital. Unfortunately, they wouldn't speak to us because at the point they hadn't been mandated to speak to us or anything. But it looks like the hospital is not in the top shape, because I've been there on a number of occasions. I know how it looks like, but at the moment, I can say that some of the buildings, the paintings are peeling off gradually. So it's up to the government to ensure that all that is needed for this hospital to be operationalized is done.
And again, yesterday when we agreed on this conversation, I called the presidential advisor on health, that is Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, and we spoke for a while. And he said that he assured me that the facility will be operational before the end of this year. He went on to say to me that the drains have been constructed, like you said, and that the works would start in terms of construction of the road will start. From what you saw, did you see any contractor on site? I just want to be certain. Was there any contractor on site working on the road?
David, are you asking whether there was a contractor on the road itself?
The road, yes.
David, I didn't cite any contractor on the road. I didn't cite any equipment belonging for road construction on the road. So I can emphatically state that there is no contractor on the road. There's no construction work being done on the road.
The skeleton staff that you spoke to, that according to you were at the hospital for the contractors, did they tell you anything about power source? Because again, according to him, work was far advanced to ensure that power was available at the facility. All
right, so David, they will not speak to us on what they were doing, but I saw that there's a section of the hospital that is close to the walls, and there were some equipment that I believe are being used to set up this power source for the hospital. So for that, it looks like there's some work being done on the power source. But for the roads, there's nothing yet on the roads. There's no contractor on the road. There's no construction equipment on the road. But for the power source, I can say some works are being done.
Okay. Now, you engage with, drivers, commercial drivers in the area. They raise their concerns. Do you talk to residents, and how do they feel about the fact that this work has stalled and it's not operational?
David, I engaged with a lot of the residents there. A lot of them were anticipating the operationalization of the hospital in the early part of the year. So if you go to the area, you can see a lot of development springing up. There's a modern trend of apartment construction, and some investors have gone in there and have started constructing high-rise buildings that they believe that they can use for apartments for some of the residents, for some of the staff that will be coming to the hospital. So visibly, you can see that the people within Sewa and its environs are anticipating the operationalization of the hospital, and they believe that it will boost economic activities within the area. Talking to the commercial drivers, they tell me that if this hospital is in operation, it will boost their work they do there, and they are even preparing to vacate their present station and find a conducive area, and operate as taxi drivers and commercial drivers in the area. So you see that visibly. And from the interactions with the people, they are all ready for such a project to be operationalized. But unfortunately, government hasn't shown much commitment to the road being operationalized. One of the men even told me that if government really wanted to see the hospital operationalized, you see the urgency in which some roads within Kumawu and its environs were fixed for the by-election. They are telling me that they also heard stories that as enough government moved equipment to the area to fix these roads for them before the by-election itself. So they believe that if government really want to see the hospital in operation, because they will use the same agency to push the contractor come on the road and in a few days fix the roads, because already drains are fixed, a lot of things have been done. So if a contractor should want to fix it in all earnest, it wouldn't take a longer period for this road to be fixed. So the people are not happy about the present situation of the hospital, because a lot of them are banging their economic hopes on the operationalization of this hospital.
This road is roughly some 2 kilometers or so. But again, tell us about the state of work, at Trader. By what percentage, how much work has been done at Trader?
So the last time the team visited Trader, the work being done has passed 50%. There's a lot of work being done on the government hospital. That's the symbolic one for the Agenda 111 project. So if visibly you can see the individual buildings, the blocks to be used for the hospital, it's on the right. So the work being done at Cheddar is progressing in earnest, and it looks like there's a lot of eyes on the Agenda 111 project. Government is pushing a lot of resources and ensuring that by close of the year, according to the government team that visited there, at least the buildings should be done. Some equipment should have been brought in to be fixed within the hospital. So it looks like for the Agenda 111 project, since it's one of the babies of this government, they are very, very, very particular about them.
And these equipment, Nane, thank you very much for your time. And these equipments don't come cheap because, for example, we're told that the Aferi Hospital, the ultramodern oxygen cylinders and medical equipment worth over $38 million are left to rot. They've been abandoned. That's at Aferi, and this is online. If you just Google it up, you can get it. So let's say what hospital is supposed to cost some $339 million, dollars. And it's a Eurojet project. And again, if you look at, for example, the district hospitals, they're supposed to cost some $18.66 million. And we're not saying that we don't need these hospitals. We need them. But question is, if we have sunk so much money into building Sewa Hospital and brought it to the level which it is right now, and we're just left with power and good access roads to the facility for it to become operational, what has prevented us from doing this all this while? Joining us on the phone lines is Mr. Ebo Jebi. He is a public interest advocate, and he is somebody who also lives in Kumasi. Ebo, good morning to you. Hello, Ebo. We've lost Ebo Jebi on the phone lines. But Eugene, yourself as a Ghanaian, somebody who lives in Kumasi right now, knowing the pressure that is on Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, knowing that people have lost their lives and people sometimes are told to hold on because the facility cannot, admit any more persons, and yet we have a 250 bed capacity rotting away. We have a 500 bed capacity in Afari also rotting away, and we have not operationalized them. How does it make you feel?
I feel tired. I feel tired because David personally I've been to Syria. Erasmus and I were nearly assaulted. And we're nearly assaulted, I think last year.
Yeah, it was last year. And I remember when I even called Dr. Anthony Chansari yesterday, and I said our team went there, but they couldn't have access in there. He said to me that they should have sought permission. But I remember even when the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health came to town, they wanted to visit Afari. They were even prevented. They who are from Parliament, they were prevented. What do they have to hide?
David, I always say something that this government has gotten away with a lot of things. And sometimes I keep and I insist that we, the media, maybe the scrutiny we give to the NDC, we don't give to this government.
We don't give equal measure to the MPP.
Equal measure to the MPP. And they get away with a lot of things. David, commonsensically, you're a father. You are building for your family, right? The building is at almost 100%, 90. The last time we spoke to the Deputy Defense Minister for Afari, he says that the Afari Hospital is 98% complete. And they only need 2%. And the 2%, they will need $32 million. Now, David, one of the district hospitals, the best or the facility can take is 120 bed. They are spending 17.6 million according to Graphic. Graphic is my source.
Well, I quoted mine from City and My Joy online.
City and My Joy.
That's where my source was from.
It's not wrong. So let's even say 16 million. It means that you can sacrifice 2 district hospitals and you get 32 million to complete a 500 bed military hospital. I want to say something is a military hospital. It comes to it's like the 37 military hospital. Anybody who's been to Accra, right? No, we don't want that. We say we will do Agenda 111. Aside the thread one, which of the Agenda 111 hospitals in the Ashanti region, in the 16 areas I've mentioned, are even up to 50% since 2021? None. For some, they're even yet to finish the documentation with land. So, commonsensically, as a father, you are building. You are at 98%. You say, no, I won't put money in there. let me rather go and get another land, negotiate with the chief, and come and start a new building. Does it make sense? But you see, when we talk about these things, then people who ought to know better, people who are supposed advisors to the president, when you even listen to their comment, you see why the president acts or says certain things he has to say. Now, let me give you some numbers.
Before we give us the numbers, Ebo JB is on the line now. Ebo, let me try and see if you can hear me. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
All right, so I know that you've lived in Kumasi, for a very, very long time. Now, government says it is committed to complete Agenda 111 projects, and one would say that is good news. In fact, according to Dr. Anthony Siasari, 88 out of the 111 are underway, are being constructed. That is good news, isn't it?
Evidentially, it's not factual, is it?
Like just what Eugene said, for that of Trader, we know it's about 50%. For the others, we cannot really vouch and say that they've gotten to 50 or even 40%.
Well, see, what we have as a problem in this nation is we've turned nation building into a competitive sport, and our priorities have been warped. If we are serious about the health, for that matter, of any aspect of human life, we would prioritize that before what I did or what somebody else did. I'm always saying this, and David, that as a people, we have really abrogated our rights, our civil liberties, to partisan politics. And because of that, we don't even know how to hold the persons that we entrust our power to accountable. So, like the young man was saying, if we should look at Ghana as a family, and the family's priority, let's say, is to provide housing for the family members, how is it that this Abusia Penny will start a project and 95% into completion, if they pass on or whatever happens, the new Abusia Penny will come and say, no, I want to start a whole new project? How does that make sense? But they get away with that because we allow them to get away with it. Governments are supposed to be, when we say a government, look, say when we go to the development partners and all of that to seek assistance and all of that, we go as the government of Ghana. We do not go as a Akufo-Addo government, Mahama government. We go as the government of Ghana. So whatever transactions that happen, the responsibilities are left with the Ghana government. Regardless of who is in charge, who is in power, it's with Ghana government. This is where we have to educate the masses to understand that government is one. The managers or the administration may change, but government is one. So we need to be up and doing and asking for accountability. Because if your priority is the health of the people, and there's already construction going on for a health facility, what sense does it make to abandon that, to start a whole new project? What sense does it make? And it's all because of us. And we yodium. Look, if we ask for accountability, and not because, when I came, I did this, and when I came, I did that, and the priority of the survival of the people is paramount, I don't think we'll be going through all of these.
So, Ebo, you blame the citizenry for this. What should the citizenry be doing now? What should we be doing that we're not doing?
Like I said before, we need to be asking for accountability. Okay? Typical example, what happened in Asin North, right? Asin North. If you abandon us, if you desert us, because whoever is representing us doesn't belong to your party, to your claim, we will not develop you. And that's what's been happening. And we've seen this since 1993. And I'm hoping that this time around, people will wake up and say, okay, let's look. I'm waiting for the period where citizens will take administrations to court, because it's a constitutional provision that you continue projects that were started by previous administrations, isn't it?
Yes, it is, because the direct principles of state policy takes care of that. And that is one concern I have. Parliamentarians who are representing the people in parliament, what are they themselves doing to ensure that this is adhered to?
Because they are not representing you and I, they are representing themselves. And this has always been my preaching. Okay, if we elect people that we believe are going to represent us, we wouldn't be in this situation. But we elect people based on their party affiliations, not the development of the constituency or for development of any other law. Okay, so since 1993, it was only a couple of years back that we had a private member bill with that, LBGQ, whatever. That's the first private member bill that's come to the parliament. And even that, we didn't see what happened with it. Every bill that would come from the executive. So when I talk about, look, sometimes I talk about the Constitution, but I realize that the Constitution in on itself may not be the problem in total. Okay? In our situation, it's not the machine, it's not the vehicle, it's the operator. When the law is put in such a way that it gives so much power to an individual, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what we have in this situation with this 1992 Constitution. On the flip side, if we had someone that was really, really garnered towards the development of our people, it would be more than perfect, because it would be almost like a benevolent dictatorship, right? But in this situation, and we've allowed what I call the duopoly, the NDC and the NPP, to play ping pong with our development. So I ask this question, since 1993, what serious development have we seen through this form of government that we chose to go with? So when I say it's our fault, and it's funny when you see videos from Aten North, I'll refer again. What does that say? Surveys that came out were saying that people are willing, ready to take money to vote or otherwise. So when I blame the citizenry, it's in the right, we've created these monsters and we have to feed them.
But again, you're saying that
the more education we get to understand that governance or government is to develop our lives. It's not to put us in prison. We're not supposed to be slaves to the people that we elect. They're supposed to be serving us. And the government, when we say, we use language to confuse people. Government, it's not just the executive. It's not just parliament. There are three wings of government, and they come together as one. So when I hear in the news they say government, look, refer to the specific administration, education, and somehow your fraternity has become the fourth realm of the estate, right? So now you're part of the government. Education has to be right. It has to go out to the people to understand the nuances of how the governance is played. But if people are ignorant, they will play politics the partisan way, like Kotoko and Hart is playing. And you hear very academically educated people tell you that, oh, Yashemo, as in like you played a soccer match and someone won. That's not building a nation.
But isn't it changing gradually? I mean, you made mention of Asin North and what happened, where people say, well, we took your money, we didn't vote for you and all that. We know what happened to Seamus Ambunso in his own constituency. We know what happened, at Iwabedia South, when the MP himself was also, hooted at and all that. Don't you think that gradually the narrative is changing and Ghanaians are becoming more smarter and wiser?
Sadly, no. Because after every 4 years, we go to sleep. And I'm talking about the citizenry. After elections, we go to sleep. So things get way out of hand before we start making agitations and stuff. If we go to the polls, okay, not ready to take 50 cities, 100 cities, just to vote for anybody, and we vote based on merit and conviction, that we want to send a message out. It's gradual. It's gradual. Like you said, it's gradual. But we do this just to spite. It's not something that we do based on conviction. We do not understand the process yet. Albeit, even though major players don't even understand the system. This is a borrowed system that we still haven't mastered.
So, Ebo, tell me this, for one of time. Tell me this.
That we don't understand.
Ebo, indulge me. For one of time, we still have this 500, bed capacity at Afari, not operational. And that the 250 bed capacity, I'd say, were not operational. It's been like this for 6 years and a little over 6 years. What do you think it will take for us to get this operational? What do we need to do to make sure government does the needful for them to become operational? What should we do?
We just have to ask for it. We just have to ask for it, forcefully ask for it. I'm not talking about civil unrest or anything. We just have to. That's why we have local representation. Issue has to be tabled. Okay? We give a situation, we give arguments. There's no point trying to build a different facility when we have one that's almost complete. It's about the livelihood of the people. It's not about your partisan interest. It's about us. So if you want to do it for us, don't think about, this was put up by this person and I don't want to add on to it. We have laws in this country that talk about causing financial loss and all of that. I can't wait to that point where citizens will actually wake up and say, hey, what you're doing now is causing financial loss.
Okay, thank you very much.
We get the system, we test the system to see if it's really going to suffice to all the laws and everything that we put in place.
Ebo, thank you very much for your time. We indeed appreciate it. And Charlie, you can tell the frustration in his voice. And Delali, a while ago, when I told him what the subject matter for conversation was, he was like, Charlie, but doesn't mean we should keep quiet. Yesterday, you and I were having a conversation on the side, Eugene, where I said, we spend so much money to construct so many things, and then we just let it go waste. We made mention, of Edum, the ministries. Elsewhere, they will not let the building go waste or rot away. They will turn it into a place where people can even use it as a tourist site to go get information and knowledge as to what happened there some years ago. But in our case, if you go to Edum right now, the ministries, I'm afraid they are done in almost storeroom, and they are dumping things there. The place is in a poor state. Here we are spending so much money, to construct a facility. All that we need is a power source and good access road, and the place will become operational. There are so many nurses and so many doctors who are home, have not received any postings.
David, as I was saying, I was saying that.
And you wanted to share some figures as well, don't forget.
Yeah, David, I was saying that the MPP government got away with a lot of things the NDC government wouldn't have gotten away with. And we live in a region where, irrespective of whatever they do, they are short of 1.7 million votes. And David, I want anybody listening, sometimes when you do these discussions, some want to go on tribal tangents, some want to do a lot of ludicrous analysis and all that. David, ask yourself, in the last 6 getting to 7 years, what monumental achievement has been chalked by this government in the region? David,
I would even say if President Akufo-Addo should finish his term in office, what can he boast of in Kumasi or Ashanti?
So David, the last time I said this, someone said we see judges' quarters.
Why they?
Judges, there was a.
You said what? Somebody said what?
I had the same question. Someone said they built a residency for judges. David, if for nothing at all, we know what Papa Kufuor does for this region. As of interchange is there. The John Mahama who was cursed and insulted all over, the KJT hospital.
Market.
The KJT market, sorry. We know the investment, close to $250 million. It's there. What has happened to Bankra? And David, that's why I said that this government gets away with a lot of things. Now, David, you know what? If you want the region with the poorest proximity ratio when it comes to health it's Ashanti region. Yeah. Now, we live in a region where our best speeds are so limited. Our regional hospital is at Tunzuagogo. Accra's equivalent is Ridge Hospital. Yeah. On top of my head, Accra has 37 regional hospital. They have Lekma. They have Trust Hospital. They have Kolebu, which is the premier health facility. They add police hospital. What was the police hospital in Kumasi? What was the military hospital in Kumasi? You have a 500 bed. Yeah. 95%, not me saying, Deputy Defense Minister, say we are over 90% complete. And you say, oh, it's a previous government, so let's shelve it. And let's rather, go and start a new Agenda 11 project, which was started 2 years ago. And none of them is even up to 70%. Now, David, when you go to the Constitution, Article 35 Clause 7 makes it explicit that as far as practicable, government is a continuum, and processes initiated by the previous government must be acted upon. David, you see, the last time when we called the GMA president, your friend, Bekwai, when we advocated that and they did Bekwai, it's for the good people. So that's why we say that this government gets away with a lot of things. Instead of saying I'll build 16 Agenda 1 watches, which I'm not disputing and I say is good, but you all know the financial constraint. David, what is happening? Do you know the danger of it? If the MPP government loses power, and the NDC come, there's a high propensity that the NDC will also say Agenda 111 stop. We also begin maybe something else, maybe Agenda 222. Then they also begin Agenda 222.
Community senior high schools left to
yes, rotten.
At secondary schools that we have used taxpayers' money to construct. And I just wanted to chip in this when you talked about a ferry facility, where I mentioned a while ago that this ultramodern they have ultramodern oxygen cylinders and medical equipment worth $38 million rotting away. So now when we say we're making it operational, are we going to look for another money to buy these things?
David, I have no doubt.
38 million.
I have no doubt that AESL, the government here, when they do another survey or another analysis of the state of affairs, they say that the 30 million they will by now need 40 million. Have you seen the KNUST hospital, 800 bed? Imagine we pour all these resources and say let's complete. And David, we have lots of such projects dotted across the region.
Imagine we have finished this KNUST hospital you're talking about,
800 bed.
As you talk about, if we have completed them some 5 years ago, some 10 years ago,
David, I can do the math.
If we have finished it, would have saved some people who have died now would have been alive because of the fact that we would have had better healthcare, facility to attend.
Because David, KNUST ending. KNUST is 800, FRS 500, that is 1,300. So we are 250, that is 1,550. Not even Confanoche can boast of that enough bed facility.
What are people saying on WhatsApp? I mean, let's listen to voice messages.
Good morning, Dave. There is Isaac. You see, I don't know what it will take for Ghanaians to understand that the politician really does not care about the nation. I mean, it is their own parochial interest that they seek. Hospitals are lying there uncompleted, and you are starting new ones. I mean, will a JHS student who prefer to even do this? It doesn't make sense. We have factories lying in bushes. Instead of us to ensure they are producing, we have made it functional. We have left it there and we are starting new ones. How does it? It's just a waste and a misuse of the taxpayers' money. Okay? And that is a clear symptom of the diseases that we have been suffering in this country. Okay? I mean, it's sad. Look at when they went to.
He says it's sad, and indeed it is sad. It's even beyond sad because it's now annoying.
Good morning, Dave. This is Iji doing the recording from Edun Kumasi about the Sewell Hospital. I've been a worker there. I worked there like 3 years. Yes, all what our brother said is true. The work is done for that place. What I can say it haven't done is the green grass. Not all are planted, but almost half of it. So that one is not any big deal like that. The power problem and the road is the main problem, as he said. I can remember around November, the hospital, they test some machines and it make our transformer to spot. The kind of power that the machines are going with, so we cannot supply them with that power unless government do something about it. That's why.
We hope that government will do something about it. Listen, we've spoken time with that number about this situation. We hope that government is listening. The regional minister has been there. The health minister has been there. A lot of people have been there. So what is preventing us from making these hospitals operational? At least we have time to play one more voice note. Take a listen to this.
Good morning, Dave. You see, I think this one is so basic, and I don't see why even the media still have kept mute and the politicians continue doing it. Their only interest of starting a new project, that is when and where they can negotiate and bargain for their percentage, their selfish interest. And that is the reason why they are in power. So when they continue your projects, it is difficult for them to come for their terms or whatever. So they want their man or somebody that at least they can talk to. Then they start a new project. Then they get whatever that they want to get. So the first payment, they will even take their percentage. Then they leave the rest. Either you can continue or not. It is your bad case. And right from day one, even from Rawlings' time, that is what they've been doing. And politicians will continue doing it until we, the citizens, start fighting.
Have this fight. We need, like, Ebojibi said. I mean, yeah, no, I understand. I mean, somebody will also misinterpret it and say, let's go fight. But listen, I think that politicians should realize that things are gradually changing. I hope that it would be faster than it is now. But slow as it is, gradually things are changing. We know what happened at Wabeja South. I'm not saying that it's a good thing to have happened. We know what happened to Oseche Mensah Bonsu. We know what is happening. If they don't set up and do what is required and expected of them, if they don't set up and fulfill their promise, I'm so disappointed in Nana Addo that most of the promises and the pledges he made whilst in opposition. I thought that we were going to have a small America of a sort in Ghana, a transformation. Now go to the market and see if you want to buy tomatoes for 1 meal, how much tomatoes goes for. Meanwhile, at one point in time, he was lifting up what they call kenke and asking us whether we could afford kenke. Go to the market right now and say you want to buy what they call it, plantain, cocoa, ripe plantain. You want 20 cities, 20 cities, and it's around 3 to 4 fingers. Well, we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit. And on the Super Morning Show today, the conversation will be on rating agencies. Now, are they the cause of our woes or we cause them ourselves? Especially as our president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, says reckless behavior of rating agencies has worsened Ghana's economic woes. That's the conversation on the Super Morning Show with Winston Amoah. But for now, we have some messages for you.
Wow! Coffee, with the amount them have bright.
Interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm the bomb demua at Tijasano, and to ready a dance for and a more ceiling. What you mean? Interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm on farm demo. The bomb demo, I have first one cobra. So the interface plasterboard ceiling, about demua, and my demo yefe, and a sound switch. Interface limited, and a diaba, Bomadia. Now from 0274 999999, and our website www.interfacelimited.com.
Hey Linda, long time oh. Yes so, hey, but wait oh Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean, look at your room, your TV, your sound system, your fridge. Hey.
Oh, they are nice all from Kennedy Digital Satellite. They also sell appliances like air conditioners, televisions, tabletop fridges and freezers from 100 to 900 liters, commercial fufu machines, home theaters, etc. Wow. In addition, government workers who receive their salary through the Controller and Accountant General's Department and still have their affordability package active can come to Kennedy Digital Satellite and get any appliance of their choice with flexible payment terms. You can locate Kennedy Digital Satellite in Accra at Wager, just at the old barrier traffic light, and in Kumasi at Edum near Boss FM and along the Patasi Main Street near the police depot. Those in Accra can call 0243 074 750 and in Kumasi reach them on 0207 653031.
Kennedy Digital Satellite, where quality sells cheap.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before?
Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you don't use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you don't use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back into your Vodafone cash account. Who reload here? But then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
No matter your water needs, Sintex has it all. Sintex Tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Sintex Tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Sintex Tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Sintex Tank. Sintex Tank, stress-free. Sintex Tank, reliable. Sintex Tank, maximum guarantee.
Is former finance minister. He's worked with the IMF. He understands this system also very well. And they're both joining us on phone. Good morning, Professor Bokbin. Good morning, Honorable Seth Tekpe.
Good morning, Winston. Good morning to cherished listeners. And good morning, Honorable Seth Tekpe. It's always a pleasure.
Good morning. And
to share my thoughts with you.
Good morning to you and to your listeners. Glad to be on the program.
Great. Before we get into the conversation, let's first listen to President Akufo-Addo as he condemns these rating agencies.
As the AU champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history, difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital markets and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis. Afro-Exim Bank, under its counter-cyclical response mechanism, provided timely support to help Ghana navigate the macroeconomic management challenges worsened by Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine in an orderly manner, when suddenly we realized we were alone. The country which had become, quote, the favorite child of bondholders and had successfully gone to market at the height of the pre-COVID-19 downturn was suddenly shut out of international capital markets. It is often said that you know who is truly your friend when you are in trouble, and is rightly stated by Dr. Martin Luther King in that often cited quote. In the end, we'll remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends, unquote. When you're dealing with powerful international financial institutions, it is important to have your own powerful financial institution.
So that's President Akufo-Addo there, reminding all that it's not just what your enemies say, but the silence of those who claim to love you. And he's now calling for an African ratings agency because he believes that these rating agencies have not been fair to Africans. Well, he may not be the only one making this point because, the regional director of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, Ahuna Eziokona, in speaking to Blaise Sogan on Foreign Affairs on Joy News, also indicated that a recent study by the agency on the cost of borrowing and credit rating bias puts African countries at a disadvantage and says we're dealing with about $75 billion cost to Africa. Listen.
We have to look at, and we've been looking at it at UNDP, for instance. We just did a study on the cost of borrowing and the credit rating bias that puts African countries at a disadvantage. If we can deal with that, you save $75 billion a year for just 16 countries that we surveyed.
Are you saying this is becoming a reality?
because our president raised that during the Afrexim meetings, where there's this continental push for our own standards and ratings. Is that the solution to the problem?
That's part of the solution. I mean, you will always have to participate in the international rating agencies because they have a standard.
Because we can't do without them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that you can influence how they rate Africa, and it comes back to the perceptions. A lot of it is really perceptions. I mean, there are facts and there's a reality that you have insecurity in some cases and you have foreign exchange volatility in other cases. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are reasons why all of these ratings are as bad as they are in some cases. But, it's not taking into account all the data, and it's also not always objective. Some of it is subjective. We know that there is, this country, Ghana, is surrounded by countries that are in violent extremism situations. So it must be risky, to invest in Ghana. No, don't do that. Take Ghana in its own right in terms of what it has to offer and what its potential is, and do that rating based on some objective data, right? And if you did that, many African countries will not end up in the junk basket, and that will help also increase investments. Because if you look at the ratings, investors also are put out, yes, right?
But I don't intend to dwell on that. The concern here is that if you look at the facts on the ground and compare them to the ratings that we have, and I'll use Ghana for example because we're here, we're heading for an austerity plan with the IMF, for instance. That's a reality. We're out of the market, and it's because of some policy measures that did not go right. So where's the bias really that you're pointing to?
Well, if you look at and the credit rating agencies themselves will also tell you that they could use more data that is available elsewhere, and that's what we're proposing. That there's econometrics data that sometimes is not factored in. African countries themselves need to pay attention when they are rated. They need to review the reports, and they need to put some resources into ensuring that they bring all the information that's required, that could perhaps influence where that rating goes. So there are things to do to reduce the bias in the rating. There is bias in the rating. We've established that. But there is also a problem with Africa's policies.